I don't think a lot of people understand what's about to happen to the American economy because people are still operating as if the money is coming. Ain't shit coming, y'all. Ain't shit coming. And you always want to use the excuse of, well, the people I know not broke. They got it. Let me tell y'all something. The first group of people that cut out all that the unnecessary spending are rich people. So if you're still spending, I'm gonna like spending like crazy and not like all stuff that you like need or to live or whatever. I'm gonna assume that you're broke. Yeah, because you don't understand economics. You don't get it. You don't get it. I'm just gonna assume that you're broke because I don't understand. I really don't understand. People that are well off have already like started limiting their spending, being mindful of their vacations, their shopping, like literally everything. They have started to wean themselves in. I started doing that since last November. But since everybody got it out here, but the numbers ain't saying that everybody out here making six figures, right? So y'all lying, y'all be lying, and y'all really ain't got it. But anyways, if you got some sense, please save your money. Please start being mindful of what you're spending your money on. I'm not saying not to do stuff for yourself. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just be mindful.
It's getting harder to shake the feeling that something big is coming, something no one is ready for, something far worse than what we're being told. Everywhere you look, the signs are there. Quiet layoffs, empty wallets, prices rising overnight, and people whispering about an economy that's already falling apart behind the scenes. The rich have pulled back, the job market is drying up, and everyday families are bracing for a storm they can't even see yet. If you've been wondering why life suddenly feels heavier, why money doesn't stretch the way it used to, why so many people are scared of tomorrow, you're not imagining it. Something is shifting in America, and the cracks are starting to show. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might change the way you look at everything. And before we dive deeper, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss what comes next.
So there's a pretty good financial indicator out there called the used car market. And the used car market is a good financial indicator of how your country is doing because it means that people have liquid capital. If you have liquid capital, you can buy a used car cash because most used car sales are going to be cash purchases. So if used cars are selling well, probably doing pretty good. People have liquid capital. They're able to buy whatever they want. They don't feel stressed about the future. They're buying and selling things at leisure. If the used car market is bad, then people do not have liquid capital. They do not feel secure about the future, and they're hoarding whatever liquid capital that they do have. And right now, the used car market is tanked. It's tanked.
Something is shifting in the American economy, and most people don't even realize they're already living in the early stages of it. You can feel it in the way people talk, in the way they spend, in the way they're suddenly afraid of what comes next. And the ones who see it coming aren't the loud ones. They're the quiet ones who have already tightened their budgets, canceled trips, stopped buying the things they used to buy without thinking. They know something is off, and they're preparing long before everyone else wakes up to it. Some people online are saying it plainly. The wealthy have already cut back. They've pulled out of unnecessary spending, reduced their vacations, slowed down their shopping, and stepped into survival mode months before anyone else. Meanwhile, the average person is spending like everything is fine, but the truth is that the numbers don't lie. Americans aren't suddenly rich. They're drowning in debt, pretending everything's normal. Others are taking drastic steps, picking up second jobs, cutting all beauty expenses, stocking freezers, trying to get ahead of what they believe is about to hit. And on the other side, some people are in full panic mode because the job market feels like a desert. People who had stable jobs for years are suddenly laid off. Friends are asking for referrals, calling anyone they know just to find something. Applicants are sending out 30 to 40 resumes every single day, going through rounds of interviews and still getting nothing. The frustration is turning into fear, and the fear into exhaustion. Young Americans feel it the worst. Some describe it as being cooked before their adult life even begins. They know they're graduating into a world where AI is replacing half the entry-level jobs and the rest are being outsourced. When an 18-year-old asks what the plan should be, ride it out, go homeless, or leave the country, that's not laziness. That's awareness. That's a generation realizing the system was broken long before they stepped into it. The comments don't get lighter, they get darker. People living with their parents because full-time work still can't cover rent. People saying homelessness is illegal anyway, so even that isn't an escape. An entire generation quietly losing hope. And then you hear the raw frustration from young adults describing what it feels like to be American in 2025. Rent at $2,500 for a studio. Cars costing $50,000. Eggs nearly $20. Gas $70 a tank. Debt rising. Taxes climbing. The cost of living outpacing every paycheck. Despite making more on paper than previous generations, they have less stability, less security, less control over their lives. Yet the official narrative still says the economy is getting better. Inflation is cooling. GDP is stable. But people aren't stupid. They're watching prices climb week after week while their incomes stay frozen. They feel the gap between what the government says and what their wallets experience.
My Gen Z students know that they are absolutely cooked when it comes to this economy, this job market. They talk about it all the time. And I think partly being that self-aware of what's going on, whether it's through their parents or social media or whatever it might be, but knowing that the US is heading into dismal times is really where a lot of this lack of motivation to do things is coming from. I often hear it in class when we talk about many different things, but the reoccurring underlying issue is they know that the future that they're heading into is not great. And because of that, I can see some of the systemic underlying lack of motivation, which is just unfortunate, but that's where I think we're at.
Analysts point out that cost of living collapse doesn't show up in GDP. GDP measures how corporations feel, not how people feel. And right now, the corporate world is thriving, while millions of Americans are unemployed, underpaid, burnt out, or simply giving up. Inflation slowed, but it never reversed. Food is still almost 20% higher than just a few years ago. Rent has become a mortgage, and groceries are becoming a luxury. Then there's the utility crisis. Power shutoffs sweeping through major cities, not because of storms, but because people simply can't pay the bill anymore. Families in Illinois, New York, California, everywhere, watching their electricity bills double without changing their usage. A 1,200 square foot home jumping from $260 to $560. A budget plan rising from $283 to $540 overnight. People doing everything right, conserving water, using less electricity, and still saving only a few dollars because the fees and taxes keep climbing. Retail workers see it happening in real time. Target employees watching items go up $50 overnight. Trader Joe's workers shocked at grocery price hikes. Clothing stores removing price tags so they can quietly adjust costs whenever they want. Everything is being marked up. Beauty, electronics, everyday essentials. There's no stability, no predictability, and no sign it's going to stop. Even people trying to be frugal are giving up. One person cuts their water usage by 500 gallons and still saves only $2 because the fees rose so much. Another sees their bill quadruple. And they're asking the same question millions of Americans are asking right now. What's the point? What's the point of trying to save? What's the point of planning a future? what's the point of participating in a system that gives you less the harder you work? It's not just inflation. It's not just layoffs. It's not just one crisis. It's all of them at once. A polycrisis. Broken wages, impossible rent, burnout, automation, political dysfunction, climate pressure. A system collapsing from every angle while officials tell the public everything is fine. But the people know better. They feel the weight of it every day. They see it on their bills, their paychecks, their job applications, their grocery receipts. They hear it in the voices online, voices filled with fear, frustration, exhaustion. And underneath all of it is a single shared realization. The average American isn't imagining the crisis. They're living in it. They're surviving inside it. And slowly, painfully, they're starting to understand that the system wasn't built for them, and maybe never was.
So what y'all's plan? Is it ride it out and see what happens? Go homeless or move the country? Like what? Like genuinely, dude, what are y'all doing? Because I don't know.
As everything slows down, I take a final look at the world around me, realizing how far this moment has brought me. Maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe it wasn't easy, but it was real, and that's what matters. If you've stayed with me till the end, thank you for sharing this little journey. There's more to come, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay with me for whatever comes next.